Alright guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Dasho Rose, welcome back to another video. This time we're going to be talking about Google AI again. I think I've talked about this in the past, I don't know. I've talked about other AI in the past, but I can't remember if I've talked about specifically Google or not. But I'm going to be talking about Google AI and kind of the future of AI and all of that, and kind of some issues I am kind of concerned about AI actually. Yeah, you know. But before I do that, you guys know the drill. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. Once again, I'll say this as I say it most of my news-related videos. If you guys are not interested in this stuff, I do reviews and Let's Plays. Because I know sometimes people are a bit split on this stuff, or some people don't like listening to this stuff. This is just my way of expressing my, opinions on stuff, and all that. So, anywho, though, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it, and all that. So, yeah, so Google and many other companies are experimenting with AI. Heck, I feel like they have been really going into it with AI. We got Google here doing this. We got, they've been doing AI a lot on, other media platforms and stuff like that. And all that. And then we got, I think Microsoft doing it too, like I've said, we got social media, like I've said, we got Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it anymore, doing it, and then you got, Facebook, like I said, you got all these tech companies really going in on AI. Hell, even Hollywood is doing a lot of this shit too, and all that, but the thing is, though, is I'm going to admit that AI, it can be used as a tool at times. I'm sure some people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I think in certain ways it can be useful. I actually use AI a little bit, not on my YouTube videos, but my DaVinci art stuff, which I'm kind of split on, using, making art in general, because I personally don't really like making adult art. I make it because people, like it. It's actually very popular. A lot of people really like it, but I'm kind of wanting, to make more, kid stuff, but I kind of need the money and all that, so it's it's kind of like a job thing, I'm gonna start probably selling some of it soon and all that, but it's for, adults. Personally, like I said, I don't really like doing it, but I'm it's either that or, I know there's, other ways to get money and stuff, too, but I'm, I don't want to say it like that, people go to, bars and stuff like that, I don't want to do that. I'm actually having a hard time, like I said, getting a job right now, but, like I said, I'm trying to get to that, but, I've talked about, I've had issues behind the scenes and all that, and, I'm AI is cheap, AI is, the apps are free and all of that. Well, most of them are, some of them make you pay, but a lot of them are free. So I wanted to use the AI stuff temporarily. I wasn't going to use it forever, but temporarily, until I could, actually sell stuff and actually be able to pay for better stuff. However, I will say this, I'm gonna say this, the AI shit they advertise, a lot of it is fucking shit, I'm not gonna lie. Hell, fucking Google with YouTube and shit, oh my god, they shove, AI ads down my throat. I mean, YouTube in general, their ads are fucking horrible, they're probably, hands down, probably some of the worst ads I have ever seen. I mean, I'm sure there are probably platforms that have worse ads than it, but I don't know. I can't think of anything that's worse than YouTube at the moment. And I use, like, you know, I've watched, like, streaming services and all of that. YouTube has horrible ads. You know, their ads are like, you know, like, not only they are very short at times where they barely advertise anything, but they play, like, 3 to 4 minutes depending on the videos. You know, so every 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah, I kind of miss the days of cable and stuff. You know, when you could, like, get ads, like, every, you know, like every 11 minutes they would put ads in there, and they would last, like, a couple minutes, and actually show you stuff, you know? Hell, I miss the cereal ads, and I'm like, where the hell has the Captain Crunch guy been at, you know? I'm like, I want to see more ads of that stuff, or, like, stores. I don't want to see, you know, AI ads all the damn time. I mean, they want to advertise the crap, that's fine, but it's a little weird, you know, that they do that. And like I said, a lot of their ads are, like, so short, they're over in, like, 10 seconds, or, like, 5 to 10 seconds, because they're trying to make it where you can't, you know, skip the ads. That's why they do it. But I'm like, why the fuck are you putting ads in your on your fucking platform if you can't even, you know, advertise this shit? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is the point of it, you know? And like I said, and I'm here complaining about them playing it constantly, but like I said, you know, like, they can still advertise stuff. They don't need to play it every, you know, 3 to 4 minutes. Do what cable used to do, like, play ads, like, every 11 minutes or so, and all, instead of playing it, like, every couple minutes, because then it just makes the shit overwhelming, especially when you're gonna barely advertise something, you know, and it's gonna last, like, a few seconds, you know? You know, so they're not able to advertise anything, like, making me want to buy, like, Subway or something, or, you know, whatever they advertise, because, you know, it's very short. And then, like I said, you know, having AI, like Google and AI and shit, you know, like, that's all they're advertising, you know, then other companies can't advertise their shit, you know? Like I said, it's a problem. And it's not just Google. A lot of these companies are doing this shit. Their ads are, like, not very good anymore, and a lot of times they just advertise the same stuff, you know, but, you know, I may make a video talking about that in the future. I don't know. I've been kind of thinking about doing that, but, I just figured I'd bring it up here because, you know, that's actually where I got the idea for some of the AI stuff. You know, they make art and stuff. And a lot of it's trying to say it will not censor shit. Oh, no, a lot of it will, it will censor you. They will, like, not allow you to do certain shit. So somebody was actually, okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so, I was making, I know I'm talking about, you know, AI and stuff, but I want to bring this up because, you know, it's part of the AI thing, because like I said, I'm not going to use it forever, you know, I'm just using it right now because, you know, I'm kind of, you know, I don't really have time to actually draw stuff, and I could be like, you could hire other people to draw your art, but I'm like, I don't have the money to hire anybody, you know, and all that, you know, that's the thing, I don't have any money to hire people to, you know, pay for this stuff, and you're like, well, there's subscriptions you're going to be paying for, but, you, like, paying for subscriptions, you know, it wouldn't, like, that kind of money wouldn't be enough to pay for people to actually survive, you know, it's, like I said, it's not that easy, you know, and, like I said, you know, I'm only doing it right now until I get a job, because eventually I want to make my own studio and all that, like, stuff. Hopefully I can actually, you know, get to it, you know, like make it, like, shows and stuff like that. I do want to do that in the future, you know, and maybe still do, you know, YouTube and stuff as well, you know, as long as the platform, you know, is still around that time, because, you know, it's been getting kind of bad there. But basically, though, you know, so I have, like, some of these AI arts, and one of them is freaking character AI, and, somebody requested me to make Velma. I don't remember her name, it's somebody on, you know, one of my followers. I told him I'd make Velma, and all that, and apparently, it's not, like, it will not let me make Velma. Like, I was gonna try to make a comic on character AI, like, for Velma. Apparently they're saying it's not appropriate, and I'm like, it's fucking Velma from Scooby-Doo. And it will not let me do that, and it's not nude or anything, it's just fucking, it's her usual outfit, and all that, and, somebody wanted that, so I was gonna, give, her, art like that. I was gonna do that, and it won't let me fucking do it. It's apparently inappropriate, and I'm just like I said, it's fucking bullshit, and the thing is, though, it won't fucking tell you what to do. Like, is it inappropriate because, well, they say it's sensitive, like, I don't know if they mean, like, it's copyrighted or something like that, I don't know, but I'm like, you let me do Daphne, why not Velma? I don't understand that. And all that, I just don't understand, why, the hell it needs to do it, but it's fucking very sensitive and all, and again, nude, like, a lot of them won't let you do nude stuff, which is what a lot of people like I said, that's what I do, like I said, I don't like making the art, but I'm like I said, I'm trying to make money off of stuff, and people do like it. Like I said, I'm more into the kids stuff, like, I know there are shows out there that do nude stuff, like Paradise PD and all that, but I'm more into, like, just making, art in general. Like I said, I'm just doing it, for, money stuff, but, because, like I said, people like that. But the problem is, though, is when it's fucking censoring you and all, and it's it's an adult website stuff. It's not for kids. I'm like, why the fuck is it a problem? You know what I mean? And you got fucking YouTube and shit trying to advertise this stuff, and it's not fucking, working, I'm like, you guys see the problem here, right? And all that. And that's what I'm saying, it's ridiculous. So, like, the AI shit, that I actually try to use, like I said, it's not working very well. And I could try to switch to other stuff, which I'm thinking about trying to do. But again, like I said, it's not very easy because they're advertising more AI stuff than just regular stuff. So I'm trying to, like, find, regular art stuff, I probably should have just done it a few years ago, but I wasn't thinking, about that stuff, because I was trying to focus on, like, I wanted to just draw actual stuff, I didn't really want to, like, put things online back then, but, like I said, like, you gotta have money to do all this stuff and all that, and that's the problem. But, I have made, like, a children's book and all that, and I'm working on another one, but like I said, I have so much going on, that's why I kind of do this other stuff right now. Because I'm trying to, make money to live on my own, too. Like I said, it's very hard, but you can make money off of DaVinci art. It's just, like I said, it's just complicated, especially when you fucking use websites that clearly, shouldn't be a problem because it's for adults, and you got that shit going on. So that's the thing. But like I said, I'm back to the whole mainly AI shit, that's kind of the problem there. And then we got other problems, too, with mainly Google AI, the big part, and other companies. I think they are going too heavily on AI. Like I said, the art stuff and all, like, making art and stuff is one thing, especially, like, like, if you're starting out stuff and all that, and, yeah, I think you should give artists a chance and all that. Like, I know people get backlash for, making art. Like, there was this one guy who made this, Nickelodeon cartoon, I don't remember what it was called, but, he made a Nickelodeon cartoon and all that, he was the, I think it was like a Mexican cartoon or something. Like, I haven't seen a lot of it. What I've seen of it, it was pretty good. It was like it looked really good, but he had like a unique art style and all that to his work, but he was going to use some AI and stuff, and he got a lot of backlash on the internet because of it and all that, but, he was talking about how, some people, like, they're still gonna, he still wants to help, find ways for people still to make work and all that, too, but, with me, though, like I said, I'm I'm not really, I'm just doing it by myself. I'm not really running an entire company either. And then that's kind of where the problem is with Microsoft, Google, and all that. Like, and even Sony and all that. They're trying to push more into the AI shit. And Google especially. Google is fucking horrible at this stuff. Like, they're horrible. Like, a lot of people are actually starting to switch away from Google and going to other platforms. Like, I've heard, like, DuckDuckGo and all that, because freaking Google is got a lot of problems. Like, they're like, they're basically, like pushing AI and all that, and I mean, I think AI is going to be around. Like, I don't think it's going to go away, but, like, there's a difference between using it as a tool and using it to run your entire company, and that's what they're doing. They are fucking, like, going way out on it. Google is spending, like tons and tons of money on this shit. A lot of them are doing this, but Google especially, like they're probably, they probably might go broke fucking spending a lot of money on this shit, and all that. And you might be like, well, how is Google gonna go broke because they got all this money? The problem is they're also, like, chasing away people and all that, because, I mean, they own a lot of stuff and all, and they have YouTube and all that too, but again, a lot of people are kind of, running away from YouTube and all this because, again, they are, like, pushing this shit so hard. And not to mention all the other backlash they've been getting, like censoring people, shutting websites down. They've actually been getting in trouble with the law, antitrust and all that. And although it's very hard for, a company, to get, by this, because a company, with a monopoly could take time, and all that. Like, Microsoft has gotten in trouble for this before. They've gotten in trouble. And that's the thing with Google. Google is the same way, like, they can get in trouble with this stuff too. And I've talked about in the past that's Android is now pushing you to use Google Messages and all that instead of their own. And then you got Google Chrome and Google and all that. Like, I actually can't even delete any of the apps. Like, I was gonna keep Google and then delete Chrome, because I'm like, I don't need two search engines like that. Apparently you can't even delete it, like, they should give you the option to delete it, And you might be, like, thinking, well, if you delete, the apps, like, if you delete the apps and all that, like, then, like, how are you supposed to look up stuff and, buy stuff? And, I mean, yeah, it's true in a way. Like, you shouldn't, like, they kind of give you they put, some apps on there you can't delete, so that doesn't happen. Like, I think, like, on some Nintendo consoles, like the 3DS and all, I think we're the same way. Like, you couldn't uninstall, like, stuff on there because, then, it'd be impossible to work the system. But that doesn't mean we need to have, like, multiple search engines here you can't delete, because it takes up space on your devices and all that too. And like I said, it's bad. It's bad with Google here. And not to mention their fucking speech-to-text thing. Like, oh my god, it is so fucking bad. Like, it's not as bad on this phone, but the newer one, oh my god, it is fucking shit. And I hear it gets worse with the newer ones. Like, sometimes the words just automatically autocorrect themselves, even after you type them in. Now, I've mentioned that I'm not a super good speller. I mean, English is a very hard language to spell, because, freaking letters and all that, Y, like, it's a vowel, and a consonant, apparently. It's like both, sometimes it says, other letters' names, sometimes it says, its own, well, actually, it doesn't say its own, but, it makes a y sound, where, like, you got A, E, I, O, U, or, like, they say their actual name, but they're vowels, but Y, goes back and forth, it's very weird, but it doesn't actually say its own name, so Yeah, they got that, so you got that, and then you got GH, sometimes it's silent, or it makes a sound. So like laugh, and, got laugh as an F sound, and then you got, like, light, or ghost is like, ghost is, actually, no, I think you can hear the H in ghost. Ghost, no, actually, no, you can't. You can't actually hear it in there. Yeah, so the H is, like, silent, but the G is not. Like I said, it's very weird. So, yeah, English is very hard, so, like, being able to speak into the stuff, it's very nice and all that, but it's getting harder and harder to do it. That's why I rely on older technology and all that, because, I'm like, it works better. And the thing is that they're trying to push this shit to the older stuff, too, and all. And like I said, they're gonna end up pushing things too far. I'm just saying. They're gonna push things too far, and people are just not gonna stand for it. I'm just saying. And all that. And I think Google going in on AI and Microsoft and all of them is not a good idea. And if you want to use AI a little bit, that's fine, but like, pushing it this far is ridiculous, and especially with all the money you're spending on it, it's ridiculous. Also, I've been hearing they're building a headquarters of Google in also Missouri, in St. Louis, Missouri, from what I could hear. And it sounds like that's going to be a lot of money, too. From what I could gather, I think that some of our taxes are actually going to pay for it. And I'm like, why do our taxes have to pay for this shit, like, especially, like, I like fucking Google, considering how much they're paying for it, because they're going to pay a lot of money to build this fucking, thing in St. Louis. I'm pretty sure it's St. Louis. I'm gonna check real quick. Okay, it's a data center, not a headquarters. Okay, a data center. But they're still building it in Missouri. It's not in St. Louis. It's in another town in it's in another town in Missouri and all that. They're building this fucking Google data center, which, by the way, apparently our taxes are gonna be paying for that. Yeah, so we're gonna be paying for some of that. Now they're saying that, like, Google is gonna be paying for for it, but it's like a fucking $15 billion AI center thing to keep track of data and all that. And by keep track, I mean, like, spy on you, basically, is what it feels like. Like, they're gonna hold, like, services and shit in there and all that, and, again, I don't think it's gonna go well. I'm just telling you, I think this is gonna end up being a bad thing. But I guess I knew those two O's in, the word Google or something. Yeah, those two O's, I guess, are secretly eyeballs. Yep, got some eyeballs watching us. Yeah, I knew Google had some secret eyes in there. Anywho, jokes aside, though, this is definitely, okay, I'll say it was probably a bad joke, I'm sorry, but, I don't know, but anywho, it's still, like I said, it's still bad that this is happening and all that, but, like I said, like, they're gonna be paying for all this shit here. And I mean, $15 billion is a lot, and it might not seem like a lot from Google's standards, because Google is a very rich company. Like, they're like one of the most richest companies of them all. I don't know if they're as rich as Amazon, but they're up there, like, as the most richest of all the, companies in the United States. Maybe the world. I don't know. I mean, they're up there. But the fact is that they're, spending all this money on fucking this shit, and our taxes are going to be paying for it. That's the thing. They're saying, like I said, they're saying that Google is going to pay all the money for the $15 stuff. But we're going to be paid, or $15 billion shit for their building here. But we are going to be paying for it as well, because it has to get built and all that. So we're going to be putting our fucking taxes into this shit. and all that when they could be doing it themselves. And I want to clarify that, you know, this is going to end up being a bad idea, you know. But like I said, you know, it's Google. You know, Google, like I said, you know, Google is going to do what they're going to do. And all that. And, you know, like I said, it's like I said, it's like, why are our fucking taxes paying for this shit, you know, when, you know, like I said, when Google has got all this money, you know. I'm just saying they're just, like I said, it's just stupid. It's basically the rich get richer is what it is. But yeah, but like I said, people are getting tired of it, and like I said, people are boycotting Google. Like they're starting to turn tables on them. Google and Microsoft and all of that. People are turning on them, and like I've said in the past as well. You know, people, you know, are, you know, frustrated with Google because Google is trying to force people, you know, to stay on their app. And like I said, Android and all this, they're like pushing Messenger, like they're gonna be fucking using Google for messengers and all that. And I actually been thinking about switching. I'm not kidding. Like I've been thinking about switching to another like, you know, app, or another messenger app. I don't know. I haven't really decided on that, because I'm like, I mean, there is social media. The problem is with social media is I can't really get a hold of a damn person really anymore, you know? So I'm like Facebook and all that, like, I've messaged people, and I'm like, they barely see my messages at all, you know? So I'm like, I barely, you know, really talk on Facebook anymore and all that, you know? So I just kind of, you know, just don't really use it much anymore, you know? I mean, I have friends on there, but like I said, it's like they don't notice my messages anymore, you know? It's like they don't notice them. And all that. And I mean, I get people are busy, you know, I'm busy at times too, but it definitely seems kind of weird, and I have been noticing this shit's been getting worse since, you know, COVID hit and all that, and it's been getting bad. But like I said, you know, they are really pushing you to do all this, but like, I actually have been getting rid of some of my Google apps as it is, but I can't get rid of all of them because a lot of them they won't let you delete. I'm not kidding. Like I said, they will not let you delete them, and I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm not kidding. It is fucking bullshit that they do this, because like I said, like, you know, like, they should not be allowed to do this because, like, it takes up space on your phone and all that, and as I stated, some stuff that you need to actually have, like a search engine and all that, because if you don't, then it's a lot harder, you know, to get, you know, into your stuff and all that, you know, or like if you need to download something again and all that. But it's still, you still should not be, they still shouldn't be, like, forcing you to have, like, Chrome and in Gmail and all that on your fucking, your fucking platform and all that. Like I said, they are forcing you to use all this. Like, they're really trying hard. And eventually what's gonna happen is they are gonna fuck with the wrong person, and they're gonna be in trouble. I'm just telling you that. They are gonna be in trouble and all that, and it's not gonna go so well. I'm just saying, it's not gonna go so well. And all that, but yeah, I'm not really happy about this stuff, and like I said, I think it's all this AI shit. This could end up being the downfall of them. I mean, well, they're already, you know, Google's already gone to hell, and so is Microsoft and a lot of these other companies. But this could be the nail on the coffin for them and all that, and they could end up losing a lot of money and all that. And like I said, like with them taking down websites, not advertising it well, like I said, you're gonna mess with the wrong person, and it's gonna be a problem, you know, because people are not stupid. People are not stupid. People will fight back if they have to. It's been like that throughout history, you know. Like I said, you know, there's always, you know, a great power, and then there are people that turn against their power, you know, because they're tired of it, you know. And I'm just saying, you know, like, they need to, like I said, they need to cooperate with people and stop trying to shove shit down to people's throats, like this AI and stuff, And if people want to use AI, that's fine, but let them, you know, choose. Like, don't just, like, force it down their throats like this. And that's the problem. They're doing this. And like I said, they're building that fucking data center in there, too. And people are tired of it. Like I said, people are tired of it. I'm just saying, people are definitely tired of it. But, yeah, that's pretty much it there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say about this, though. But yeah, we'll see where this goes. But I can tell you guys that this is probably not going to end very well. And I mean, for Google and Microsoft, not the people. Because like I said, the people are going to fight back. You know, people are going to fight back. And like I said, it may not look bad, but trust me, this shit's not very good. Especially that they're building a $15 billion data center, and, you know, having us use tax money to pay for it, when I'm like, you're a fucking multi-billion-dollar company, and then you got them, you know, like I said, you got, you know, the fact that there's been reports of spying, and I think they are kind of spying on you, because it's ironically, I got an ad of DuckDuckGo, right after I, just bought it. Like, I not bought it, I mean, I literally just downloaded it. I got an ad for DuckDuckGo. And I want to clarify that this ad was about not using DuckDuckGo. And I mean, it could be just a coincidence, but it's very weird, especially when they've been playing a lot of these other fucking AI ads, and this random one just shows up. I'm just saying, it's very, very weird, and all that, but I don't know. But we'll see what happens here. But like I said, I don't think this is going to go well and all that. And we'll just see what happens here. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and let the video go. See you all later. Bye-bye.